We are a river city, a bold city, the First Coast, a place to create and to belong. Here, the sun shines a little brighter, and so do the people. We share a love for our region, a pride for Jacks, and a passion for the beautiful game, dedicated to giving everyone a sporting chance. Together, we will elevate soccer and sport in our community by lifting every voice. We are Sporting Club Jacksonville. We are Sporting Jacks.
Hello and welcome into the Sporting Jacks Report. I'm Cole Pepper. Coming up, a closer examination of the U.S. men's national team with the World Cup approaching in just 9 months. Plus, we'll get to know midfielder and forward Maddie Kemp and hear from the youngest member of the Sporting Jacks roster, 16-year-old Academy player Sarah Weisberg. But let's start with last Saturday's matchup between Sporting Jacks and the top team in the league, Dallas Trinity. The Gamebridge Super League is a league of small margins. Through the first 2 weeks of the season, only one team had won both of their matches. That was Dallas, who came to Hodges Stadium for a Saturday night meeting with Sporting Jacks. To the UNF campus we go. Sporting Jacks looking for the first home victory in club history after the win against Tampa the previous Saturday. 10th minute, Dallas on a free kick from distance. Amber Weisner got her head to it and forces Jamie Gerstenberg to make a diving save. First of many for the Sporting Jacks keeper. 10 minutes later, Sierra Hinson has some space. This one pushed over the bar by Gerstenberg. 22nd minute now. Watch this pass by Jacksonville's Ashlyn Puerta. The back heel to Maddie Kemp. And Kemp's left-footed shot goes into the left side, outside netting. Still 0-0. A couple of minutes later, Sporting Jacks again would be on the attack. Sophia Bowman crosses one in. First time headed by Jade Pennick and then Puerta. And it's just over the bar. Still 0-0. That would be the score at halftime. Second half, more of the same from Sporting Jacks and keeper Jamie Gerstenberg. The save, and then gets back up and does it again. 8 saves on the night, tied for third most in league history. 64th minute, a Dallas giveaway. Jade Pennick is off to the races. Great opportunity here for Sporting Jacks, but Pennick doesn't have the surest of footing there, doesn't get much on it. It remains a 0-0 contest. 80th minute, another chance for Sporting Jacks. Jesse Hunt sets up Puerta, whose shot is pushed wide by Riley Foster, the Dallas keeper. Less than 2 minutes later, the Jacksonville giveaway would set up the game winner. 15-year-old Rhea Moore becomes the youngest goal scorer in league history and in American professional soccer. It holds up Dallas. A 1-0 victory, remaining unbeaten with a victory in Jacksonville. Take a look at the stats. Trinity certainly had more shots, probably better opportunities overall as well. They were very good defensively, although both teams' passing accuracy was terrific. Jacksonville had more possession, but didn't have as many dangerous opportunities as they needed. The game ends in a 1-0 Dallas Trinity victory. And we now welcome in Becky Burleigh. Becky, what were your biggest takeaways from Saturday night's match?
You know, one of my biggest takeaways with that is that I think Dallas has a really good roster, and it's not even a full roster yet because they've got some key players that are out. And so in relation to that with the result, I mean, I think it just shows that Sporting Jacks is positioned well to compete with the best teams in the league. And I know that they would like to have that goal back, but I also think there were some moments where, you know, they were generating chances against a very good defense. They were stopping teams that have a strong, high-powered offense. And so it's just a matter of kind of putting it all together, which I think this team is growing into.
All right, let's talk about Sporting Jacks goalkeeper Jamie Gerstenberg. Mentioned 8 shots stopped on the night, tied for third most in league history. If she keeps doing that, Jacksonville's going to be in a lot of games.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why she was the player of the match, and I think it was well deserved. It wasn't even like these were just outstanding saves. I think her positioning, her ability to direct things in front of her, like a lot of the things that don't show up on the stat sheet, were also equally impressive.
Well, let's look ahead to tonight's game against Carolina. This is the last home match in the league until the middle of October So what are you expecting?
Yeah, that's a tough stretch coming up, and Carolina's a good team. They're well coached. I think a lot of people have a lot of respect for Pooley, their coach. They have a proven goal scorer in Corbin, who has picked up right where she left off last year, and it's a home game. I think that every game at this point is an opportunity for Sporting Jacks to sort of continually create their identity and put together longer stretches of time. So is it an important game? I mean, I would say every game's an important game when you're in this stage of development with a team. But I think the fact that it's a home game and that those are few and far between in the next month, that is what makes a little bit added emphasis.
All right, Becky, thank you. Here are the league standings. You see Dallas on top, 3 wins from 3 matches and then 9 points. Then you got Fort Lauderdale, team that was a finalist in the league last year with DC Power, and Lexington. DC and Lexington were at the bottom of the table last year. This really shows how much improvement we've seen from the teams from year 1 to year 2 in the Gainbridge Super League. So it's going to be all that much more challenging for Sporting Jacks. They're going to have to navigate their way. A win over Carolina, last year's best regular season record, would go a long way to help Sporting Jacks make a charge here in the early portion of the season. One of the things the team is talking about is wanting to get a home win for the fans and supporters. The squad was back at it this week, even holding the first practice in the rain on Tuesday. With Carolina in town, the team is focused on taking 3 points at home.
I think our focus is always on us. We were disappointed with the last game, disappointed with how we performed. We know we can do better. So I think going into this, we just want to put some of those things right and put on a performance like we know we can. I think with a new team, it takes time to gel. I think we're still waiting for that, especially in and around the box. I think once we get that, I think the goals will come.
You know, when you come off of a result, any type of result, you look for a positive response. You know, we're trying to build momentum, and in order to do that, like, you've got to have some level of consistency, and that's something that we talked about, you know, before the Dallas game. Is for us to build some kind of momentum, we need to put games back to back, and we weren't able to do that. So now we're looking to hit the reset button and go again, and see if we can gain any type of momentum going into the next few weeks.
Also this week at training, a new face. English forward Libby Smith began training with the team. The former Birmingham City forward has a connection here. She and Jade Pennick played together in Birmingham and are close friends off the pitch. When Smith gets up to speed, she'll be expected to help add to the Jacksonville attack.
Obviously, it was a bit of a late comer. I got in touch with my friend Jade Pennick, who plays here. Obviously, was kind of looking for an opportunity over in the States, and spoke with Stacey, and yeah, my ambitions and how I'd like to play lines up with Stacey's too. So yeah, and that's how I'm here now. Yeah, obviously I'm aware it's a pretty new league. I kept an eye on it last season. I knew a couple of the girls that were out here playing. Kind of got their opinion on things, and yeah, I watched a few games and just thought it looks like a good setup. It looks like somewhere I want to be, and kind of help progress the league to get it where it needs to be.
Great new addition to the team, fits in really well with the personality of the group. I'm looking forward to seeing her coming out of her shell a little bit more. We are weaning her in slowly because obviously, you know, we've been in for now, gosh, like what, 10 weeks. So it's going to take time for her to get up to speed and transition into to our identity.
Well, let's spend a moment now getting to know tonight's opponent, Carolina Ascent. Last season, Carolina won the Players' Shield for the best regular season record. This season, they're off to a bit of a slow start. Through 2 matches, Ascent have 2 points, a pair of 2-all draws against Fort Lauderdale and Tampa Bay. So tonight's game makes 3 against the 3 Florida teams to start the season. The top star for Carolina is Mia Corbin, who scored 12 goals for Carolina last season. She scored her first goal of the year last time out. Should be a good matchup tonight at Hodges Stadium. And we welcome Emerson Burris now, and we continue with our series, Getting to Know the Players. You spent some time with Maddie Kemp this week.
Yes, I did. She's broken records, led teams at every level, and now she's chasing her dreams as a pro. But for Maddie Kemp, it's just as much about who she is off the field as what she does on it. In Camas, Washington, Maddie Kemp made her mark early.
I was the only freshman on varsity. And there had been like 2 other freshmen on varsity like before me. Well, now I'm the all-time leading goal scorer in Washington State history, and before that it was Hope Solo.
Her next step, college.
I grew a lot like in my experience there, and I wouldn't ever change like where I went because it helped me become who I am today.
Those challenges prepared her for the professional game.
It's better to be a part of something that starts with nothing and at nothing, because it's harder to make something amazing than it is to come into something and maintain it.
Away from soccer, she loves the simple things.
I feel like my main hobby is shopping. I like to cook, and I love being that close to the beach.
For Maddie, it's more than goals. It's about giving back.
My biggest passion is helping kids fall in love with the game like I did, and I want to be able to share whatever knowledge I have with them and mentor them and teach them and coach them and guide them.
And she's not stopping here. Maddie already has her eyes on what comes next.
And leaving a legacy, because you could just be another really good player on a really good team, or you could be the people who make it the place it is. So when this opportunity came, I'm like, well, this is really cool. So that's my story.
For Maddie Kemp, it's about goals, growth, and giving back, both on and off the field, and she claims the title of best dressed on the team.
Okay, and you saw there on, as she was talking, there was a website being scrolled. That's part of her giving back.
Yes, it is. She really wants to get involved in the community here, start giving back to kiddos, and start training them to hopefully be a pro like her one day.
We keep talking about impact. That's the kind of impact that having a professional soccer team in town can really induce. Thank you so much, Emerson. Introducing the Sporting Flex Pack. Hey, there's Maddie, right there. Pick seats to any 4 games on the schedule, including the friendly against KC Current 2 that's coming up on Friday as part of the Sporting Flex Pack. You get tickets starting at just $60 for the 4 games. That's just $15 a pop. Call 904-863-KICK or visit sportingjacks.com/flex to lock in your Flex Pack today. Still to come, Mauricio Ruiz joins us to take a close look at the USL Championship. That's next as the Sporting Jacks Report rolls on. Every game of the Gainbridge Super League can be seen on Peacock. Locally, tonight's game will be seen on Channel 4, and Friday's friendly against KC Current 2 will be seen right here on NBC 12. The next nationally televised USL Championship match is scheduled for September 21st when Indy 11 hosts Birmingham Legion. It's a 5 p.m. kickoff on Sunday on CBS Sports Network. Time now for the USL Championship Game of the Week presented by Honda of the Avenues, and today is the return of Neil Collins. The former Tampa Bay head coach left for England, then returned to take over at Sacramento Republic. Collins' team hosted the Rowdies this week. To Sacramento we go, and certainly a homecoming. Also, big night for this one at Al Lang Stadium. 29th minute, visitors strike first. Russell Cicerone lays it off, and Rodrigo Lopez scores to give Sacramento the 1-0 lead. 47th minute, looking for the equalizer. Juan Carlos Azucar unleashes a right-footed strike from outside the box. Danny Vitiello stretches to push it away. Sacramento remains 1-0. 74th minute, nearly a score for the visitors. Cicerone lets it fly from outside the box, but it's just too high and wide. 90th minute now, and into stoppage time. Sacramento seals it late. Sebastian Herrera drives into the box, squares it for Cicerone, who taps it home from close range to double the lead. Last chance for Tampa to try to pull one back. 7th minute of stoppage time. Manuel Arteaga from inside of the box, but Danny Vitiello standing tall. Sacramento Republic leave with the 3 points in a 2-0 victory, while the Rowdies are left frustrated at home. And we now welcome in Mauricio Ruiz. Mal, this was a matchup of 2 of the best organizations in the league, even if Tampa isn't having their best season.
You're right. I mean, 2 teams that if we 2 years ago told you that Tampa Bay is outside of the playoff picture and Sacramento is fighting for first place, there's something wrong with that message, because both of them are typically fighting for first place. But the Rowdies have been through a bit of a rebranding, technically, if you would, and under new owner, under new management, they're starting to claw up. They're putting together better performances for sure, but always a tough task when you play against Sac Republic. And a deflected shot, kind of really opened up the gateway for Sacramento. And at that point, Rowdies were just throwing caution to the wind. At the very end, letting a goal. But Rowdies are putting together good performances. So if they can claw their way into the playoff picture, Cole, I think they can be really dangerous, because remember, they're a championship caliber organization. So having that mentality, if they can get into the playoffs, they'll be a difficult out.
All right, let's take a look at the Western Conference standings. Tulsa remains on top at Sacramento with the 3 points, clawing their way past El Paso. They continue to be a team to watch. You know Sacramento has that championship DNA, so we'll keep an eye on what happens there at the top of the table. As for the Eastern Conference, Tampa Bay trying to climb off the bottom. They've been able to do so a little bit more here as the season has gone on. Let's take a look at those Eastern Conference standings. And you see Tampa, even with the loss, they've crawled off the bottom. But look how tight it is between Hartford at 5 and even all the way down to Miami at the bottom. Only 9 points separate 5 from 12th in the Eastern Conference. With about a dozen games or so remaining, there's still a chance for some of these teams to make a push and qualify for the postseason. The top 8 in each conference make it to the playoffs. Group tickets are on sale now for the inaugural Sporting Jacks season. Groups of 10 or more can enjoy the best price for single game tickets. Gather your family, friends, and coworkers to enjoy a night at Sporting Jacks. General admission for group tickets, just $22 per seat. Club seats, only $39 per seat. Call 904-863-KICK or go to sportingjacks.com to order your group tickets for pro soccer in Jacksonville. Still to come in our Youth Soccer Spotlight, we get to know the youngest player on the Sporting Jacks roster. That's next as the Sporting Jacks Report rolls on. The inaugural Sporting Jacks kit has been unveiled, and you can order your own or any of these fine shirts, hats, and everything else. Use the QR code on your screen or go to sportingjacks.com/shop to check out the online store. Time now for the Youth Soccer Spotlight presented by the Bearded Pig Barbecue. Emerson Burris is here. And Emerson, you caught up with another member of the Sporting Jacks Academy who's on the pro roster.
At just 16 years old, Sarah Weisberg, midfielder for Sporting Jacks Academy, is already making her mark on the pitch. She signed an academy contract with the pro team and recently committed to Syracuse University, all while still in high school. Weisberg's soccer journey started young and has been building ever since.
I think when I was going into 5th grade, I switched to competitive, and then I started on the second team, and then I moved my way up to ECNL, and then ever since then, I've just been improving.
That confidence came in part from a coach who pushed her to believe in herself.
He was just like my biggest supporter, I guess, and he made my confidence high. And then ever looking up to all the bigger girls playing college, I was like, I want to do that.
This year, Weisberg signed an academy contract with Sporting Jacks' pro team.
When I got brought up to me, I had no idea what it was about, anything. And then when I heard I got to train before school every day, I was like, I want to get better, so I will be doing that.
It's a schedule that takes discipline.
I mean, it's definitely a little exhausting, but I think it's definitely going to prepare me for college because training with school, but I think it's overall a good experience.
Her next stop is Syracuse.
I saw the campus and I fell in love with it, and education is really big for me too, and I think there I'll get a good world of both because they're in the ACC, which is a really competitive conference, and their academics are really good.
And as she looks ahead, her goals remain simple.
Just to overall improve to get me prepared for college and hopefully to see the field at one point and during the season.
Weisberg just started her junior year at Creekside High School and continues to train with Sporting Jacks. She'll join Syracuse in 2026, but for now, she's making an impact right here at home.
And amazing the time management skills that have to be put in place. As you mentioned, she's coming to train with Sporting Jacks in the morning, then going to Creekside and taking her high school classes. Pretty remarkable for a player of that age.
Absolutely. I think back to high school, I was on a couple different teams and clubs and that sort of thing. I can't even imagine training with the pro team. She's incredible. Amazing.
All right, thank you, Emerson. For more on Sporting Jacks in the world of soccer, check out the Coaches Show every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010XL. You can also listen online at 1010am or 1010XL.com. Be sure to join Mauricio, Becky, and me every Thursday night at 6. Emerson chimes in as well. It's the Sporting Jacks Soccer Hour. We cover the entire soccer world Thursday nights at 6 on AM 930, Fox Sports Radio Jacksonville, or the iHeart app. Still to come, Mauricio rejoins me. We'll talk about the U.S. men's national team, where they are getting ready for the World Cup. That's next, as the Sporting Jacks Report continues. can watch the Sporting Jacks Report next Saturday at noon on ABC 25. It'll be there for the next couple of weeks. You can also find us on demand on First Coast News Plus and the Sporting Jacks YouTube channel. Mauricio Ruiz now rejoins us. Mau, we saw the U.S. men's national team have two very different performances this week. Still, though, a lot of noise in the system around Mauricio Pochettino.
Cole, this is about as difficult, as anyone to predict. Before these games, you had asked the question, after these games, what should we know? And my answer to you was, we should know lineup, right? At least we should know exactly, or have a much closer picture of what formation will look like, what lineup relationships will look like. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little more confused coming out of this game, out of these two games, than I was going into it. I thought there's going to be a little more consistency. I think there's a couple people in there. Matt Freezing goal, right? You got Chris Richards and Team Ream. You got Tyler Adams, and you got Christian Pulisic. Maybe Serginho Dest is another one you can kind of really pencil in there for now. But besides that, Cole, I think it's about anyone's guess what he's doing in the lineup. Play two different formations in a 4-3-3 and then a 3-5-1, I would call that. So difficult to understand. So a little bit more confusion, I think, from the U.S. soccer crowd than maybe confidence of what the next steps will look like.
And a lot to consider over the course of the next 9 months as the World Cup approaches. Hey, be sure to follow us on social media. You can get the very latest on what's going on with Sporting Jacks on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, YouTube, and on TikTok. Well, we've talked about Sporting Jacks getting that first win of the books. Now they're looking for the first home victory in club history. They'll look for it tonight against Carolina. We'll leave you with the sights and sounds of the outstanding performance by goalkeeper Jamie Gerstenberg, who was terrific last week. Thanks for watching the Sporting Jacks Report. We'll talk to you next time.
She has been up to the challenge tonight.